been privy to the Arby's burger. But hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo. We're talking burgers. A little pre-show burger talk. To my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
So you prefer an Arby's burger to a Whopper now?
I do, dude. Arby's makes a badass burger.
Okay, Arby's burger or Baconator?
Arby's. Arby's had the best burger I've had in quite some years for a fast food place. They had the best burger that I've had in a while.
Where would you put Culver's in this conversation? Because I think Culver's has a good burger.
I think Culver's is okay. I don't think their shit's special.
So right now for you, it's a bacon.
Let's be honest, dude. If you're hungry at night and you're dying for some fucking food, there's nothing better than a double Whopper with cheese.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm sorry. Still to this day, that's the best.
I've got to investigate this Arby's burger though.
I don't know if they have them right now. They're only
burgers.
Seasonal.
Burgers, 7 burgers. You can get the deluxe, the
And then
double
there's
deluxe,
a bacon one.
barbecue bacon, double barbecue
That one's
bacon,
good.
big cheesy bacon. Fuck.
They got very good burgers. Try them and you'll see what I'm talking about.
So right now, Arby's is the top dog for you?
To me, I thought they had the best burger around.
Wow.
Yeah.
To my left, it is none other than our very own Mr. Solo, Mike Pelzo.
It's got me hungry, burger talk. I didn't eat lunch today.
See, PJ's in the chat talking about how nothing beats a double quarter pounder. This is how we got it on this topic because the double quarter pounder is back now. E. coli, listeria free. Listeria free.
Can I tell you guys something about McDonald's?
Yeah.
Makes me sick.
It's overrated.
Every time I have it, makes me sick.
I would take
Every time.
I would take a Whopper. I would take Burger King over McDonald's. I would take Wendy's over McDonald's. I would take Culver's over McDonald's without even thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Without even thinking. For me, it's Wendy's. You get a Baconator, you get the large fry, 10-piece spicy nugget, you throw the Frosty in to dip the fries in and change shit up.
I don't do it very often, but for me, it's Burger King. I still think a triple Whopper is great. I love the fries. I think the fries are excellent. But you know what I love because I think I've gotten it with you before. I don't think you know what I love, which I think is the best. I try and do it once a year because it destroys me.
I know what you're going to say.
It's White Castle.
The Crave Case.
White
I-
Castle.
The Crave case is like a once every
If I
3
told you what I do, you wouldn't fucking believe
It's
it.
a
You
one.
eat the whole crate. You eat the whole
I
crate
bet you.
case.
I bet you. If you're bringing White Castle home, it's 3 Crave cases. Two. 60.
You can eat. Is it 20? I thought it was 20.
No, it's 30 per.
So you can eat 60 of those, like in one sitting.
No, he's bringing home. How
But
many?
it feeds the whole
I'm
family.
feeding, yeah.
It feeds
feeding
the whole
6
family.
people.
Yeah,
So that's 10 per.
that sounds about right.
Could you? I think the most I ever took down in a sitting was 13.
Yeah, same.
No, I've ridiculously eaten shit that you guys wouldn't believe.
The only problem is
The
12 for me.
12 is your
double
number?
Whopper.
I like the
cheese.
chicken rings though. Have you had the
Chicken rings are
The
fantastic.
chicken rings might be the best chicken fast food menu item.
I think I would still take chicken fries over chicken rings. If you get a good batch of chicken fries, they gotta be crispy. Because sometimes you get them, they're like wet dicks,
Me
and
and
they're no good.
me and Carl Heathcote. Shout out to Carl. We used to eat 2 double Whoppers with cheese, a large fry, and a large Coke.
That's it.
Shout out to Jack.
Every day at
Every
lunch.
White Castle slider takes an hour off of your life. Well, I'm fucked.
I mean, if you can go, if you
trouble.
can get a Crave case and go through it with 2 dudes, you're doing something right.
I don't think I could finish 15. I think if I was really
I could
hungry
do-
these days,
I could do 15.
I could do 10 these days if I'm really hungry. But I need the chicken rings. I need the chicken.
The whole thing is you got to be off work the next day.
Yeah, because you're gonna.
Because you are for sure gonna fucking blow an O-ring, trying to fucking get through the day.
McDonald's does that to me. Like I love chicken nuggets. I had to stop eating them because they made me sick.
Well,
But I love chicken nuggets.
dog shit for you.
See,
Well, yeah, but everything there is dog shit.
Leon's in the
They're literally
chat.
selling listeria.
Leon's in the chat talking about how five guys doesn't make the list. For me, Five Guys is not fast food.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very
fast
different.
casual.
It's fast
When-
casual.
It's fast
Yeah.
casual.
Listen,
It's
when
different.
they're charging you, what do they charge? $15
Yeah,
for a burger.
it's not. Yeah, you're
That's
out.
not.
Yeah.
That's not.
Five Guys.
casual.
is
Shake Shack,
McDonald's,
Five
big
Guys,
gloves.
even In-N-Out is fast casual. It
I
takes a
agree.
while for that burger to come.
In and Out, Five Guys, and Shake Shack are in a category of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not in. this
Believe it or
category.
not, y'all have to try Arby's.
I
I believe
has
it.
a good burger,
Arby's is
dude.
good food in general.
I'm
And I'm telling
Arby's
you,
has
I got-
really
they
good
have
chicken
the-
tenders.
I got turned on. I'll tell you what's better than that. They got some jalapeno poppers
Good.
with some cream cheese.
Yeah.
And they give you this little raspberry fucking sauce.
And
with
they're
it.
warm too.
Outstanding.
Arby's?
They're warm.
Arby's.
When you bite into the cream cheese and it explodes.
Yeah, it's hot as fuck. burns the shit out of you. It's great.
They had those at Taco Bell for a while. Those Cinnabon, Bomb, Delight. Those were fucking good. Those are good.
And-
Bruce, you have an input here?
McDonald's is the best.
You know,
It's the go-to. It's the go-to.
are you more of a
every
Big
time.
Mac guy, or do you get the Goo Burger Deluxe that a bunch of guys in the back just shot goo on, and then you took that down?
No, I'm a Big Mac.
You'd like to dip your nuggets in goo?
Actually, I like
you don't
a,
want you don't want to know what a shame. I'll tell you what a
McGangbang
shame
is
is,
the
dude.
best
When I
way
was
to
a
go.
kid, a fucking Big Mac was a Big Mac. Now it's like a quarter of a Big Mac.
You know where I've noticed that, and I feel like it's like
and
it's like
everything is like that now.
Big Boy. The Big
Yeah.
Boy is not big anymore.
The-
You can
the
take a Big Boy down in
Intimidator-
3
Hold
bucks.
on. Are you citing the Ford Field? Are you citing the Ford Field
No,
double decker?
I'm talking the Mac Avenue. The one at Ford Field is a joke.
Well, yeah, it's
The one at Ford
it's
Field's a
game
half of
it's
Big-
game food. It's like
Yeah.
going to get a Little Caesars pizza at Little Caesars Arena for $15, and it's a third of the size
But-
of.
I'm not even talking about that. It's the
You
fucking
can get the big
one,
ones.
the super big boy.
No. I'm talking about little LCA.
Yeah, but it's
You
like
can get-
$20.
Yeah.
I pay $5 for that pizza a minute
I
from
think
my
the
house.
pizza
Right.
in there is shits on the pizza at a store.
You want to know what else is an
regular-
abomination? I don't know if anybody's paid attention to Subway.
Yeah.
Subway.
The $5 footlong. It's it's a $6 6-inch now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you what is going on?
The Matrix.
Well, here's
This
the
is
thing.
why we all got to get out and vote. So
here's-
$5 footlong.
Well, here's what they said. What they're trying to do is get America more healthy and start going smaller portions for everybody.
Then why not charge
Because
$2.50
people
for the 6-inch?
people spend too much money on food and they take it home and then they never finish it. People don't like that. Your generation, the generation coming up, thinks that if you have too much food there where you have to take it home, it's a waste.
Who the
So-
fuck can't eat a foot-long sub? Especially from Subway because it's this thick.
I don't know.
Anyways, that's
You
that's
can't do
awful.
a 12-incher,
Yeah.
Bruce, then you ain't a man.
PJ in the chat says Bruce loves paying $6 for a 6-incher. Anyways, programming update. We're changing some things up. I know most of you were expecting it to be Fantasy Frenzy today, but today is not Fantasy Frenzy because through this brain trust that we have in front of you, we have decided that we'd be better off giving you guys the bucket loads full of goo and fantasy advice on a Friday rather than on a Wednesday. So you might have more questions about your fantasy team. You might need more education from this board, of which 3 of us are 2 and 6 in our respective fantasy leagues. You guys might need that on a Friday afternoon.
He's 2 and 6 as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're the only one here in
I
our
don't even have a
league.
winning record. I'm 4 and 4.
You're 500. You're the only one here who's 500 or better.
Today's my day.
So Friday is going to be Fantasy Frenzy from now on. We're going to give it a shot, see how it goes. Today, we're going to make the picks. We're going to pick the shit out of these games. We're going to sprinkle some props. We're also going to sprinkle some props in Friday because you can never get enough props. So that's the way. We're going to try our best to not use some key words that may relate to recreational financial losses on the weekends because we've noticed that when we use those certain words, we get shadow banned pretty quickly on TikTok. So we're going to avoid some of those words, and we're just going to call them props, strictly props, because props is a good word for TikTok. But we're going to pick games. It's Wednesday. Uncle Sam, how's your week going so far? Good? Good. Zolo, quick check-in on the week.
Quick check.
A lot so far. Just trying to make it to the weekend right now. Scratching and clawing.
You guys, we fucked up. Tomorrow's Halloween. None of us are in costume.
Did we do costumes last year?
I don't remember. Did we do costumes last
Don't
year?
do costumes.
We didn't do
Last
costumes?
It would have been a
Costumes we
Tuesday
did.
last year.
We've never done Halloween costumes. The only costumes we did were Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah, when Christmas season rolls around.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Not doing that shit either.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, we have
Better be
packed
ready.
away.
Ho, ho, ho. They're already here waiting for us.
He's
The beard needs to start growing. out.
Bacala. When they try and make Bobby Bacala be Santa.
Yeah.
And he
The fuck I will.
yeah, and he yells at the kid.
All right.
I'll fuck a kid up.
There goes your shadow ban.
There we are. Physical assault on a minor.
Physical assault on a minor.
There we go. Shadow banned.
I'm sorry.
We're messing with you.
You have to redo it.
No, we're good. Anyway.
Rewind.
Let's start off with a Thursday night matchup for the ages. It's going to get spooky. It is on Halloween at 8:15 p.m. live from JetLife Stadium. The Houston Texans are going to hand Aaron Rodgers another fistful of Vaseline. Shockingly, due to the Texans' wide range of receiver issues, the Jets are a 1.5 point favorite. Mind blown by that. Absolutely mind blown. That's the only thing that can be his home field advantage. Over under in this game, 42.5. I'll start. I'm going to take the Texans in this. I don't care, to be honest with you, that there's no Stephon Diggs. I really don't care that Nico Collins isn't playing. The Jets have not shown me anything that leads me to believe that they're going to win this game. Texans defense hasn't been great. Jets defense hasn't been great. Jets are definitely up as far as wide receivers go. Don't care. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a field day in this game. I would hit some of those props if you could. It's the active receivers for Houston are not great. It's Tank Dell, Bobby Trees back from the dead, the ghost of Robert Woods, Xavier Hutchinson, Mechie. It's kind of ragtag, but I think it could work. I'm going all Houston in this game. I think the Jets are one bad loss away from just packing this thing in. I really do.
Over under.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to stick with the under in this one. I don't think there's going to be a shitload of points, and I think Houston's defense is going to probably give Rodgers some fits.
Any contingencies attached to this one?
I don't have contingencies. I don't. I know Rodgers was banged up. He is on the injury report. Doesn't really matter. They'll roll him out there in a wheelchair just to save face at this point. So I'm not all that concerned. Uncle Sam, what do you think?
Taking the Jets.
Over under.
I'm taking the over.
Can you give a quick explanation there?
I think they're due. I think they're due for a win.
He's right about that. They are due, and I think this is a winnable game. No. But had I wish I would have gone back in time and just bet against the Jets and let it roll for a long time, and I didn't do that. So I'm going to do that now, and maybe they'll get a win. But I'm going to pick the Texans. I think they have the defense to stop whatever New York has to muster up, wherever the Jets has to muster up, and the bad juju continues. You're not going to right the ship against the Texans. So.
Oh, my God. Some injury news here. Allen Lazard officially out. That change your mind at all?
Nope.
They're going to need Donald Driver.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe they'll go and get, who's that little white dude that played receiver in Green Bay for all those years?
I don't know. They can go get John Kuhn, the fullback. Though.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Bruce?
I'm taking the Texans.
And?
Over.
Go with the over.
You're going to go the over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that one. I think the Jets.
No props.
Jets are in for a spanking. My prop. I think if we're gonna toss some out here, most of the receiving props are out, and the one that I like Tank Dell over 56.5 yards. Sauce Gardner came out and said that he hasn't been tackling well and hasn't been playing great football, and I tend to agree with him. The other one that I like, I think Joe Mixon's going to just have a field day. Give me the Joe Mixon anytime.
I will second Joe Mixon anytime. And I cut him off, but he said Joe Mixon over 81.5. First, I'm seconding Joe Mixon anytime.
You got anything special you want to add in? There is a Braylon Allen.
The Braylon Allen anytime touchdown.
Braylon Allen, 20.5 yards, over or under?
I'm going to say over.
There it is. There we go. Do we like Devontae Adams' outlook in this game?
No. Someone's going to draw Stingley, and he's very good.
Probably going to be the one to draw Stingley. You're right. That could mean Garrett Wilson's open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've thought Garrett Wilson could be open for weeks.
I know.
So
that's what happens when you have a shitty quarterback, you know? Let's move on to the Sunday slate. 1 o'clock. We have early in the picking process what could be the absolute dumpster fire, pit of despair, toilet bowl of the week, and that's the New England Patriots heading to Tennessee to play the Titans. The Titans.
I actually think there's a game worse than that.
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
The Titans are 3.5-point favorites, coming off of a 52-point loss. Well, the Patriots, excuse me,
They didn't lose by.
they got 52 hung on them in their loss to Detroit.
That's better.
The Patriots coming off of a win against Aaron Rodgers. Over under in this one, 38.5. Uncle Sam, start it off.
We'll take the New England Patriots and the over.
Does it change your mind at all that is there a contingency on whether or not Drake May plays?
No.
He's going to play, though, isn't he?
He's still listed as questionable.
And I know Will Levis probably isn't going to play, right?
He was limited in practice.
Well, he was supposed to play last week and didn't.
May has not cleared the protocol yet.
Oh, he's in the concussion protocol.
Yes. And it's
Interesting. I bet he plays.
Will Levis, still questionable. Update. They have not updated him. He practiced, but he is still questionable.
I like what I've seen from them last week as far as running the football and spreading the ball around. Even Brissett come in and was spreading the ball around. So I don't think that's going to affect them at all.
Over under.
I'm going to take the over in this.
38.5.
I got a feeling they're going to put up some points.
If this Lions hangover is real, and I'm going to buy into it just because it's another trend, then I'm going with the Patriots. Going with the Patriots to win. I'm going with if you want to do Patriots money line, you can get away with it for that one. I am going to do for an anytime Hunter Henry just because the tight ends 8 against the Titans last week for the Lions. I'm going to go under 38.5.
I'm going to do this strictly off of a degenerate standpoint. Right now, 76% of the money in this game is on New England to cover and win.
Wow.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I'm going to go Tennessee,
Interesting.
giving up the 3.5. I'm going to take the under in this game. For me, this one just feels like a dumpster fire. That people are going to bet heavy on New England because they beat the Jets last week. I think the Jets are a dumpster fire. I think they're both dumpster fires. Give me Tennessee to be lesser of the two dumpster fires. Bruce,
Going with the Patriots in the under as well.
I'm on an island me and Mason Rudolph are on an island by ourselves. You know what? If the game that I think you were talking about a moment ago, this might be worse. You're right. This might be worse. The New Orleans Saints are heading to Carolina to play the Panthers.
Was this the game you were talking about?
Yeah.
Saints are a 7.5-point favorite. The over
Derek Carr going to play
is
this week?
43.5.
It sounds like he's going to play this week.
He's gonna.
According to the coach. I haven't seen a practice report, but they said this weekend is possible.
He had limited reps today at practice and is expected to start.
Okay.
Dennis Allen reiterated today that he is likely to return from his 3-game absence. So we have Derek Carr.
What's the numbers?
7.5 for the Panthers.
For the Panthers. Over, under?
43.5.
I'm going to take New Orleans and the over. And my prop is, what the hell's his name? The guy who plays tight end, quarterback, every back.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom
There you
Hill.
go. To Taysom Hill, anytime touchdown.
Would you like to do
No,
this?
you go because I want to see I want to see where this goes. I'm making my pick based on how you pick.
I'm going to take Carolina.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to take Carolina.
Didn't learn your lesson last week, did
Nope. I got to get burned one more time. I'm going to take Carolina. Carolina definitely covers the 7.5.
Bryce Young is starting, by the way. Did you say that already?
Yeah, I didn't say it, but that Bryce Young is starting. I think Carolina's covering the 7.5. Whether or not I'm taking them to win, if I was going to bet, I would bet the Saints money line. I'm going to take the Saints to win, Panthers to cover. I'm going to take the under 40. There's no way there's going to be 46 touchdowns out of this game. There's not. Both these teams are trash. A prop bet, I like Kamara to get in the end zone, and I'll take. I think it's going to be an Alvin Kamara game, and I think it's going to be a Chuba Hubbard game.
You said under?
I'm taking the under, and I'm taking Saints money line because I think that's too many points for me to feel comfortable with.
Very reluctantly, I'm going to take the Panthers because I don't know when their next opportunity to get a win is. I don't think that Bryce Young looked as bad as people thought he did last week.
I agree.
He looked bad, but better than he did in the first couple weeks, and no better way to. The Saints are good up front. Uncle Sam agrees with me. Their secondary isn't great, and I think if they find a way for him to get the ball out quick enough.
Big Xavier Legette game. Finally, he had a good game last week too.
Got hurt.
Is he banged up again? That was a nice week.
That's my anytime, by the way, is Xavier Legette. I mean, I guess they could win in Germany. You know what? No, I'm pivoting. I'm taking the Saints. Saints to win, Panthers to cover. I know. The Panthers are covering that. I wouldn't be don't be shocked if they win.
All right.
And I'm going with the under. I like Xavier Legette anytime.
Legette is off the injury report and playing.
He's great, by the way.
I know.
Xavier Legette. It's a great landing spot for him. I hope they figure it out. He's from South Carolina. He was good. I wanted the Lions to get him very badly.
I know.
They were actually talking about him.
Yeah, they talked to him everywhere. They talked to him at the Combine, that he was at Pro Day. Or I'm sorry, they were at his Pro Day. Excuse me. They talked to him a lot. He came here for a visit, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Great player. Great player. I'm not shocked. I want it on the record that I am not shocked at all at what Keon Coleman is doing. I've been saying it for 2 years about Keon Coleman.
He's a stud in college.
Stud at Michigan State, stud at Florida State, really big stud at Florida State. And I'm not shocked at what Xavier Legette's doing. I'm also not shocked at Brian Thomas. Not shocked at Brian Thomas.
The one that surprises me right now is Roma Dunze. Where have you been?
I think they need an offensive coordinator that's good.
You got more than that going on over there.
There's big things. I think when they open it up for Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams is awesome. I mean, the flashes are there. Of course, he's not Jaden Daniels. That's the barometer. But when things open up further for Caleb Williams, it's going to open up for Roma Dunze as well.
Yeah, I had him as about the third best quarterback in the draft. Behind Jaden Daniels.
Where'd you have J.J. McCarthy by chance?
Last.
He wasn't in my top 10.
After Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler, J.J. McCarthy.
No, you know what? The whole thing with McCarthy is real simple. He was only averaging 19 passes a game. So you can't really get a good barometer of what he can do with him throwing fucking 18 passes a game.
I think that might be
Those are Jared Goff
he
numbers.
averaged that.
Those are Jared Goff
18
numbers.
a game.
That might be the third time the word barometer has been used.
Parameter, sorry.
No,
you're
right.
You're
with
right.
Barometer, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
vocab.
I don't think there was enough out there for you to judge him. I don't think he has enough experience. I don't think he just. It's not him. It was the system he was in. So I don't think you could really judge him. You never know. He might be good. We don't know yet.
Caleb Williams?
No. J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Moving on, the Denver Broncos.
Caleb Williams is throwing the ball fucking 40 times a game, dude.
Caleb Williams is great.
Yeah, he was throwing the ball 40 times a game in college. It was great. He was putting up 50 points, and they were allowing fucking 70.
The Denver Broncos are heading to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Baltimore, a 9.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under 45.5. Denver has been hot as of late. Baltimore coming off of a loss to Cleveland, looking a little shaky in that. I was listening to something today, and they were talking about how Baltimore's defense is no longer Baltimore's defense, and that could be.
I will have to agree.
It's not.
They're not getting pressure.
It's
Their
not.
secondary does not look good, and that could be due to the fact that
You hit on it. The secondary is the problem.
secondary is not good.
Nate Wiggins has come on slower than they thought. It's the secondary. It's the secondary, and they're getting burned in the air because of it.
That's a lot of points right now for the state of both of these teams. Over-under in this game, 45.5 points. Would anybody like to take this one to start?
I'll go. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to win. they don't really lose 2 in a row very often. Of course, they started the year losing 2 in a row, but they don't lose 2 in a row very often. And I want on the record that I do like Denver. I like what Sean Payton's doing. I think he's a great coach. Bo Nix is just managing games. You can go all the way to the playoffs with a game manager, but it's hard to beat a team like Baltimore. Tim Tebow. It's hard to beat a team like Baltimore in Baltimore.
Bo Tebow.
Without a game man or without a competent quarterback play and without competent receivers. That's what sets them apart from Cleveland. At least Cleveland's got some pass catchers. That's why they were able to beat him last week. Give me Baltimore to win. I do think Baltimore is angry enough to cover, and give me the over.
We're in lockstep. Give me Baltimore to win, Baltimore to cover. The good thing about the fact that Baltimore's secondary is struggling is that Denver still doesn't have any receivers that are worth a damn. Cortland Sutton's been a disappointment again this year, and there's pretty much nobody there that's worth a shit. I'm going to go with Baltimore all the way in this one. I don't love Denver's defense either. So if I'm going to hammer somebody in this game, I'm going to hammer Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry has a huge game because he didn't have a huge game last week. I think he has a huge game. I think Baltimore rules. I like Denver too. Do not get me wrong. I like Denver too. But Baltimore again needs a big win here, especially with Pittsburgh a game up already. That's a lot of points for me. But this feels like one where I think Baltimore's going to just go off. I'm going to take the over, but that is a lot of points. Uncle Sam.
Taking the Broncos, and I'm taking the under.
Why? Give us some insight here.
Why?
I want some
taking
insight.
The Broncos, I'm taking the under. I think they run the ball good. They're balanced. I don't agree with the Cortland Sutton thing. He was pretty big last week. He caught some really huge passes. I actually like the way they're grinding games out. And when you do that, you're going to win a lot of games. They're playing good football. They don't turn the ball over, and they control the clock. And I think that's that scenario can beat teams with quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson.
There was some trade talk regarding Cortland Sutton going around this week so far, so that's
okay.
Worth keeping.
Is he the last receiver available?
I think
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah,
Is he unnamed player X?
He's the last soldier standing there. Bruce.
The Ravens in the over.
The Ravens. In the over. You're looking awfully pink today, bud.
The Ravens.
Looking extra pink today.
Fucking high.
Shows you what varnish does to you.
Yeah.
You think he's still baked from the varnish?
Oh,
or is he baked from the dope?
Baked from
Dude,
both.
no, I was fucked up today.
Next up, we got the Raiders. Heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Cincinnati a 7.5-point favorite. Over under 46.5. Cincy needs a win here desperately. Desperately.
Who's quarterbacking the Raiders? It's not Minshew still, is it?
HR Puff and stuff.
Aiden O'Connell back?
O'Connell's on IR.
Oh, fuck.
So, but hold on. I forgot.
Snoop Diggity Doo?
No, they signed a quarterback.
Who did they sign?
Desmond Ridder.
Oh, God.
But Minshew is the starter. Minshew will be starting. I do expect to see Desmond Ridder at some point this year. I'll be very happy when it does happen.
I don't know.
Ritter's got a lot of football left in him.
Awful.
Desmond Ritter's got a lot of football left in him. Listen, you were the one sitting here touting Minshew at the beginning of the year, all right? You're a traitor.
Listen
You're a
to me.
bandwagon.
All I said was that
bandwagon.
Minshew played a lot of football. That's all I said. He's played a lot of football.
So did Aaron Rodgers, and look where that got the Jets. Anyways, Gardner Minshew starting. Cincinnati needs a win, something terrible. Give me Cincinnati to cover the 7.5 and win, because the Raiders are dog shit. And that over under of 46.5, I'm going to take the under. Cincinnati's just not putting up an obscene amount of points right now. I got to stick under in this game. I got to stick with the under.
You need the Bengals to win. Did you pick it?
No, he hasn't gone.
Bengals to win. Bengals to cover. Give me. I think Joe Burrow eats this game. Whatever his yards total, take it. T. Higgins anytime. This might be his audition for a new team. Take it. Anytime for our friend Jamar Chase as well.
Yeah. Everybody eats for the Bengals.
Everyone eats for the Bengals, and it sets us back in the pursuit of Trey Hendrickson.
You're going
Trent Irwin anytime.
Listen, my man Yosivas has been real quiet as of late. I think he could,
Did you do the over as well?
No, I'm taking the under in this one.
I'm doing the over, by the way. I think it goes over that 46.5. Oh, and if there's ever a Brock Bowers prop, just take it. The guy is the best. He's literally the best to ever do it already.
Over under 7.
Brock Bowers.
2 months into his career, he's the best.
Uncle Sam, let's hear it.
Well, I want to do this. I can't. I'm taking the Bengals.
Oh,
Bengals in the over.
God, I thought he was going to take the bait.
Bengals in the over, and my Trenton Irwin anytime touchdown.
Is Trenton Irwin still on the team?
Yes, he is.
I need to fact check.
That little
this real quick.
Josevich dude took his spot.
That's what I'm
If I
saying.
was Irwin, I would cut his brake lines when they're leaving the stadium tomorrow.
When
they're leaving practice.
Hold on. Trenton Irwin on the year has 3 receptions for 15 yards.
They're not using him enough. That's why they're losing.
Well, Yosivas took his spot. You're right.
Yeah, he sucks.
Trenton Irwin. He's behind Jermaine Burton now on the depth chart.
Oh,
Wow.
Nikes.
And Charlie Jones, Big Chuck Jones.
Okay.
Bruce?
I'm going to go with the Bengals in the over.
Taking everybody. I'm the only one who didn't hit that over.
Bruce was kind enough to put his picks all the way in the Excel, so I know what he's going to say before he says it. I'll also know if he changes it.
This is, honest to God, in our almost 4 years of tipped experience, this is the most productive day Pink Bruce has ever had.
Hold on, he's just doing his picks though.
Oh, I'm aware.
I'm putting the rest.
I know you're typing away.
Yesterday was a balancing act, trying to get everything going, but I had fun with the tiers.
Bruce was huffing varnish at work today and spilled so much goo that he came here with a mind clear enough to come up with a spreadsheet. Congratulations, Bruce.
Basically, yeah.
Congratulations.
Was that your Adderall? Was that Bruce Adderall?
Bruce had himself locked in the bathroom in the shed for about 45 minutes today, just spilling goo.
I'm sure.
All over the place. All over the walls.
Goo. Next
You
up.
said you needed that other side painted white, so.
Bruce painted it white, that's for sure. Next up, the Los Angeles Chargers are heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Will you bark for us? But what about Jameis Crablegs Winston? You should be fired up right now.
Don't
Dog pounds back.
30-30. Don't go there.
The Chargers are a 1.5 point favorite in Cleveland. The over-under is 42.5. Uncle Sam, you start this off because
Taking Cleveland in the over.
there we go.
Cleveland in the over.
Do you have a prop for us?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's hear it.
What's the numbers on Tillman?
Cedric, I knew
Cedric
it.
Tillman.
I knew you were going to go with the Cedric Tillman. I don't have numbers for Cedric.
No, I have no props there. I got a Cedric Tillman anytime touchdown.
Oh,
He had 2 last week.
give me the Chargers to win, the Chargers to cover them 1.5. I'm going to go under. I can't see a ton of points. Jameis Winston will throw a pick in this game. His passing prop is 239.5. I'm going to take the under on Jameis Winston. And if I had to pick it any time right now, I'm going with the Lad McConkey.
Listen, the way I was
Anytime
watching
touch.
Jameis, famous Jameis, ripping that ball through Baltimore last week, I was impressed.
Listen,
I was really impressed.
backup quarterbacks in their first week
I was impressed.
at Mike White.
I was impressed.
At Mike White.
Yeah, okay. Jameis Winston is not Mike White.
All Chargers. Chargers in the under.
30-30 still mad that he lost his job to Tom Brady. I'd be pissed too.
Lad McConkey anytime.
Chargers in the under. Jim Harbaugh's not going to go into Ohio and lose. Chargers in the under. Give me Nick Chubb anytime, and that ends up as the only points the Browns end up with. I think they're going to scratch. He's not going to repeat that same performance from last week.
No chance.
I love Jameis, but I mean that was cute. That's
I don't
all.
know, man.
The Chargers are playing for something. If there's one thing Jim Harbaugh does well is if there's games that he has to win, he will do his best to win
They
them.
beat a
His
good
team.
football team last week, so I didn't take that lightly. I wouldn't take that lightly. They beat a good football team.
Both these teams beat good
and
football
their fucking
teams last week.
defense started to actually play really well last week. That's something they haven't done all year.
Well, what happens if Darius Smith gets traded before Sunday?
He was out today, by the way. He's got some sort of issue that kept him out of practice.
Next up, we have a.
Hold on, Bruce.
Oh,
tell
Bruce.
him about
Sorry,
your Chargers
Bruce.
pick?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Bruce.
Bruce.
The Chargers in the over.
All right, good.
Look at how
that
pink
A,
God,
B,
is
C,
that the
1, 2,
screen
3?
reflecting off of his pinkness today, or is he
What
just
the
that
fuck is he
pink?
talking about?
I don't know. It's all the varnish, man.
Oh,
Got too much varnish in him today. Next up, we've got a.
You didn't let him get a prop.
I never take a prop.
He doesn't do props. He's too high for that.
He isn't prop.
So just prop.
No, I started this whole tandem of anytime touchdowns because now you guys do just the anytime touchdowns.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what I
trying to take
do.
it easy because things change. That's all.
There's not a lot of
Right.
props
Things
out
change,
there.
and I can
And I don't
introduce
make
my.
mine till Sunday.
That's why
I can
go-
introduce my props when we do the fantasy show coming to you live at 5 on Friday.
Thank you.
That's when I'm going to introduce a lot of my
That's gonna be props
props.
Bada boom, bada bing.
All right.
Next up, if I can have no more interruptions from the pinkness over there.
Look at that shirt you got on. That.
Listen, these hands are rough, okay? We have a.
Divisional game.
There it is. The Miami Dolphins are heading to Buffalo to play the Bills. In a game that means the world to Miami, they're a 5.5-point dog to Buffalo. Over under 49.5 points.
Buffalo's had some cakewalks over the last couple weeks, which is why they fared well. I guess Seattle's not as much of a cakewalk, but they're going to get the Dolphins at their best this weekend. They're going to get a really good Dolphins team. I'm still taking the Bills to win. I'm still taking the Bills to cover the 5.5. I think they win safely by over a touchdown. Give me the over here. I think this over is fun. Running backs tend to eat against the Bills. Like Achane started to eat until he got injured against the Bills. So you could take his yards over in this one. And then conversely, the Bills ran the hell out of the ball. But I like Amari Cooper to return to the touchdown column this week. So give me Amari Cooper anytime.
Uncle Sam.
I'm taking the Dolphins in this one. I think
I'm shaking it up.
somebody could be underestimating them. I got a feeling. I'm taking the Dolphins.
They looked better
Dolphins
last
in the
week.
over.
They look better.
Yeah, they did. They did. They looked like a football team again.
Yeah.
Like men.
Miami to win, Miami to cover.
Huh.
I'm also going to hammer the over in this game. Give me Tua Tagovailoa over the 248.5 yards. Tyreek Hill anytime. Tyreek alternate yardage over 100. And the Dolphins have a game where they actually look like the Miami Dolphins again for the first time in 2 months. Bruce?
Going with the Bills and the over.
Can you believe that's a 49.5 point over? We all took it. We all just absolutely hammered that over. Speaking of overs, next up we have the Dallas Cowboys heading to Statlanta to play the Falcons. Atlanta, 2.5 point favorite. Over under 51.5 points.
Can I do this one?
Have at it.
I'm going to do something
Micah
absolutely.
Parsons back this
No, he's
No,
not.
he is not. He
He's
is
not.
Fuck.
I'm going to do something absolutely
Fuck.
insane. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Pinky.
What kind of goo just came out?
Goo out of every orifice.
The unhealthy kind.
I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to do it. And I love the Falcons, too. I think the Falcons are going to win that division. This is where you're going to see the talent gap between the Falcons and the rest of the top teams in the NFC. I loved how Dallas's offense looked last week, and this is the one they need after the last, we'll call it 3 weeks. They need this one. And if Dallas can go into Pittsburgh and beat Pittsburgh without looking good, and I know that was Justin Fields, I think that they can go into Atlanta and they can manhandle Atlanta pretty well. So give me the Cowboys, give me the over, and I like Dak 2+ touchdown passes.
I'm going to side with Zolo here. Give me Dallas to cover and win. Give me the under 51.5 points. And the touchdown scoring prop is real simple for me. Give me a Dalvin Cook anytime touchdown.
Dalvin Cook
Dalvin Cook
for the Cowboys?
for the Dallas Cowboys.
Huh. Interesting. I'm taking the Falcons in this and the over.
Take the Falcons in the over.
Why are you laughing? Taking the Falcons in the over.
Is there why?
Why?
Well, when we
Because
both picked Dallas and
I
you
am
pick Atlanta,
going.
I want to hear
I am
why.
going to take Atlanta for this reason only. I think that the Dallas defense is not right. They're missing Bland. They're missing fucking Micah Parsons. That's obviously a big thing with them because they haven't been able to stop anybody, and I think that's a big issue. And you let that happen with Kirk Cousins, he's going to pick you apart.
I agree.
So that's the reason why I'm taking Atlanta. And hopefully by this time next week, Mike McCarthy is in the unemployment line.
I was gonna ask the board here if Dallas loses bad, and they go to 3.
Well, I don't even think they have to lose bad. If they lose another close game like they did last week, I think he's done. I think you got to fucking pull the rug out, dude.
Let's just get this out of the way right now. Here from Odds Shark, this is the list of odds for the next fired head coaches. Do you want to guess who's number 1 at plus 350?
Dennis Allen.
No.
Ooh.
Do you want to go?
I don't know.
It's Doug Peterson at plus 350.
Is Gerard Mayo on there?
Gerard Mayo, he was on a list that I saw earlier today. He's a lot lower on this list, which is strange. What's the date on this? What's the date on this? Doug Peterson at plus 350. Brian Dable at plus 450. That's not going to happen. Mike McCarthy at plus 475. He was a little lower on the list I saw earlier today. Stefanski at plus 650. I think that guy should get a reprieve, personally. Dennis Allen at plus 900. Eberflus at plus 1,000. Zach Taylor at plus 1,250. Antonio Pierce at plus 1,250. Brian Callahan at plus 2,500. Guy's got a bad roster. No quarterback, excuse me. Gerard Mayo at plus 3,300. Sirianni is somehow lower than McVay is plus 5,000. McVay will never get fired.
Is Sirianni not
plus
in the top
6,600?
fucking 4 in that list?
One I can see happening. Go ahead.
The win last week. That's why.
I have a few hot seat coaches, if we're going to go over it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat. Antonio Pierce is an obvious one. I agree with the Zach Taylor thing. I think Zach Taylor's on the hot seat with the way
I think he's kind of fucking run its course every year. They're underachieving. I think it's
you can't do the. I know we have that narrative on this podcast. Well, they always slow start. True, they do. They always slow start. You can't.
That's not slow.
They can make the playoffs. They could totally make the playoffs, but you can't justify. Well, we always start slow. Well, no, because what happens if you finally start fast?
Right.
If your team is prepared, starting slow is an indicator that you are not prepared.
I think Mayo is safer than a lot of people think right now. I think Dable's safer than a lot of people think right now. Dennis Allen, for me, is the number 1 guy who I think could be gone, because the problem is, right, in any business, when you get
they've been
how good it
they've
can be,
been rashed with injuries.
don't care.
It doesn't matter.
When you had a glimpse, they put up 100 points in the first 2 games.
Yeah,
And then tanked.
it doesn't matter.
Some of that's going to fall back on the coaching.
Because even with the injuries, Alvin Kamara is still there. Olave, for the most part, is still there. And people were high on Spencer Rattler. I know he's not Derek Carr, but Derek Carr still ain't that great.
Spencer Rattler is dog shit.
I know how badly you want Nick Sirianni to get fired, but they're 5-2.
Well,
He's
that's
not
the
going
only
anywhere.
reason why he's moved off the list.
Doug Peterson would probably be my second most likely to be canned. I think that they're on the brink. And then everybody else, for the most part, I think is safe right now.
See, I actually feel bad for Jacksonville because they've lost a lot of tight games. They haven't really been blown out in a fucking game, but they just continue to lose week after week. I mean,
It's also a tough schedule.
it's fucking hard, dude.
I'll say
Well, yeah, don't they have the first place schedule in that division?
No.
Yeah, they made the fucking playoffs
no.
last year.
The Texans had the
Oh,
first
Texans.
place. Yeah, they missed at the end.
But they're right there.
Yeah.
My number 1, I think there's a very good chance that if the Panthers beat the Saints this weekend, that Dennis Allen's gone.
I agree.
Very good chance. I don't think that's not a good crutch, is to say, the one thing I could think of is he's been with the organization for so long, but also like you promoted from within, you didn't really do a full look at coaches, and go get your quarterback, go get your coach.
Bruce, did you pick this?
I did
No.
not.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
The Falcons in the over.
Beautiful.
Actually, the under. I changed my mind.
So well spoken.
Huh.
So pink and well spoken.
Interesting.
Would you and Uncle Sam have a meeting on this before? I think you guys are in lockstep right now.
No.
Except
No,
he was crazy enough to
He
pick.
just took the Dolphins. I took the Bills.
Next up, we have
Divisional game.
the Washington Commanders are heading to New York to play the Giants. Don't the Jets have a home game?
Yeah,
Jets
they're at home.
are at home.
I'm having a moment here.
The Jets
No, they're
play
both at
Thursday.
home.
Oh, the Jets are on Thursday night. I'm sorry.
No, I
Yes.
had to think about it too. Don't
Yeah, I was like, what the? How the fuck is this
All
going
right.
to work?
Shout out to our number 1 fan on TikTok, Raider Nation Raw.
Hey, Raider Nation, how are you
What up,
today,
Raider
bud?
Nation? We're just picking the games. We would love for you to stay to pick the games. We picked the Raiders to lose. Sorry.
No.
But we'll be back Friday with the fantasy picks, and we're going to go more in depth. But please stay.
Yeah.
Don't leave us.
And then join us again on Friday.
Ask us any questions you want to.
Everything you guys got. Washington, a 3.5-point favorite in this one. Over-under is 44.5, Uncle Sam. Do your Giants pick up a win here?
I could see it. If you're going to do
I
it.
would love to take the Giants. I'm going to take the Giants. I'm taking the under.
Let me tell you why I could see it. I'm not going to agree with it, but I could see it. Let me tell you why. That was a big-ass emotional win last week. They're still healthy. Or, excuse me, they're still unhealthy. Jaden Daniels is still a little bit banged up.
Brian Robinson's got a hamstring.
Brian Robinson's hamstring. On top of that, the Giants need a win. I don't think the Giants have, if you tweak some of these things with Daniel Jones, they're slightly more competent. I'll say the Tyrone Tracy injury scares me a little bit, and he might not play this week. I think he's day-to-day at the moment. Tyrone Tracy was on the side with trainers during practice. I doubt he plays this week, but you're not.
Singletary's healthy.
You're in the ballpark if you want to pick the Giants. I think it's possible.
Any thoughts on Brian Burns with an Achilles injury? Not the Achilles injury, but he is questionable and did not practice yesterday.
Well, you got to see what he's going to be here within the next day or two. By Friday, you should know if he's playing or not.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
If he's not there, that's a big one. I'm going to go with Washington in this game, cover win. I'm going to take the under. Because the Giants defensive front to me right now is playing like a team on a mission.
Did you go over under? Over under.
I actually went under.
The Tyrone Tracy thing is a little nerve-wracking for me. But honest to God, it's hard to bet against Washington right now. Give me the Commanders. Give me the under. It's a lot of points. Give me the under. I like Jaden Daniels over his 231.5, and I also like Daniel Jones over his 212.5.
I got the Commanders. I got the under as well. Give me Zach Ertz anytime as a fun prop for this one. It was an emotional win. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be tough for the Commanders to go in there after all the emotions last week. The entire world is talking about them. But they've done this thing as well as a lot of teams this year, and they've won the games they're supposed to win. They're supposed to win this game. I doubt they choke against the Giants. Can see it happening, though. Uncle Sam's not far off with his Giants pick.
Brucey Poo.
Them divisional games are played at a different level, so that's why I think they're due.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
They're due, and Bruce is coated in goo.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that the divisional games are
There's
played.
a lot of goo talk today.
Yeah, because you're real gooey today, Bruce. You're real gooey.
Heard you're coated.
You going to pick the game or no?
I'm going to go with the Commanders and the under.
Okay.
Wow, great insight there, Bruce. Great insight. Thanks so much.
All you got to know is to listen to me, all right?
Moving
Lost
on.
last week.
The Chicago Bears are going to Arizona to play the Cardinals, 4:05 p.m. Arizona is a 1.5-point favorite. Over under 44.5.
I'll go.
Please do.
Cardinals to win, Cardinals to cover. Give me the over because the Cardinals have to score points in order to win, and I do think they have the capability to score points in this game. By the way, their prized first-round pick from last year, what's his name? Jonah Williams. Was it Jonah Williams? Hold on. I believe it was Jonah Williams. No. Yes, Jonah Williams is designated to return from IR. So he's got a 3-week window to open up. So Jonah Williams will come back, and that's going to be good news. Even better news for the Cardinals in their quest to win the division. I think they know that they're on to something right now. They are in first place. I think they win this game at home, even with a lot of Bears fans in attendance, making it feel like a road game. Cardinals to win, Cardinals to cover. Give me Trey McBride anytime, and give me Kyler one rushing touchdown. I think he gets in the end zone.
Oh, you stole it right out from under Uncle Sam. I'm going to go Chicago in this game. Chicago to win, Chicago to cover. I feel like I'm on an unders run right now, and I don't love it because some of these
chosen
games,
2 on overs. So
I know.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going to go the over because somebody's got to hit the over. I'll go over in this game. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after last week. I really don't think he liked losing that game. I really don't think he liked losing it to Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to come out like a man on a mission, and I think they're going to play really, really good, sound football. With that, I'm going to go Caleb Williams over the 221 and a half passing yards. I also think he'll throw a pick if you want to hit that one. But this is going to be a good football game. This has all the makings of a good football game. I think both these teams are very evenly matched, and I think it'll be good all the way to the end. But I think Chicago's coming out on top.
It feels like every week there's a number 1 overall versus number 1 overall Heisman versus Heisman matchup.
Yeah.
Of course, Jaden Daniels was number 2 overall last week, but it feels like there's Heisman matchups every week. It's interesting. Don't let me down here. Go ahead.
Taking the Cardinals in the over.
Oh, I love it.
Cardinals in the over. And what's the receiving props for Harrison?
They are not out.
They're not out. Marvin Harrison anytime.
Look at that. All right, Bruce. Whose island are you going on here? You gonna leave me alone?
The Bears in the over.
Go. There we go. Look at me and Bruce chilling on our island by ourselves. Love it. Well, we were talking about Doug Peterson a few moments ago, and it doesn't look like things are going to get much better for him here. The Jacksonville Jaguars are heading to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Eagles are 7.5-point favorite. The over-under is 45.5 points.
I'm going to go again.
Go.
I'm going to do something really stupid here that's going to cost me the week because I usually fare really well against you clowns because I don't do stuff like this.
There we go.
But I'm going to do it.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to take the Jags.
Wow.
I'm going to take the Jags to win. I'm going to take
They're due.
They're due. It's Doug Peterson going back to Philly to school one of his students. Give me the Jags to win, which means I think the Jags are going to cover the, 8.5?
7.5.
7.5. The Eagles are still in more disarray than we think, and I think it shows here. I just think they beat a bad team last week in the Bengals. Give me the Jags to win. I'm going to do it, and I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to do it anyways. And give me the over. Give me the over. ETN's coming back. I think he's going to look good.
All the same.
I'm going to take Philadelphia. Philadelphia in the over. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown.
I'm going to take Jacksonville to cover and win.
So I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy.
Over under.
I don't think you're crazy. I think it could go that way.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to take the under.
I'm actually hoping it goes that way.
Or the Eagles absolutely obliterate them.
It's going to go one of two.
One of the
ways.
two.
I'm going to hit the under in this as well. Again, Jacksonville's due. I'm not in love with Philadelphia. They've won too many games that I just feel like it just doesn't make sense for me right now. It's not computing. And Jacksonville is on it's a must win. They're getting very close to must win territory for Doug Peterson to save his job. For this whole season to not be a fucking failure, they've got to win this game. I'm gonna go Jacksonville. I add the under. 45 is too many. What are you waiting for?
Because this one's actually really hard, and I chose it before we made the before we started.
Don't be influenced by us.
Yeah, no.
No, I was thinking.
Be your own
when
man,
I was
Bruce.
Picking the game, I was thinking, damn, why do I have a feeling Jacksonville's actually going to win this
They're
game?
not. They're not going to win this game.
They're gonna win that.
I have Philly written down, so I'm going to go with Philly, but
But you don't feel good about
I
it.
don't feel good about it.
Your loins aren't plumped over it.
No,
I hear you.
I'm not as pink. I'm a little more red.
All right. 4:05 from Seattle. The Rams are heading up there for a.
Divisional game.
There it is. Rams and Seahawks. The Rams are a 1.5-point favorite. The over/under 48.5. I'll start this one. I'm surprised this line's as close as it is. Rams are creeping back up to full strength. I'm not impressed with Seattle. Do we have an update on DK Metcalf?
He's questionable. More on the side of not playing, but could play.
I think that's a huge, huge, huge thing. He did not practice today. McDonald says he's optimistic he will return to Thursday and then play on Sunday's game. I'm not buying into that 100%. If he does, I don't know how all effective he'll be. Give me the Rams. I think the Rams eating this. I'm going to take the under the 48.5. It's an unders week. I think Seattle's going to look a little more dysfunctional than they have. I'm going to go whatever Stafford's passing number is when it comes out. I'm taking the over.
He missed practice today, but the Seahawks are optimistic is the word that they use, that Metcalf will play Sunday.
I don't think it'll matter.
Well, go ahead then.
Sounds
Tell
like
us
you're
why.
a Rams guy.
Tell us
Did
why.
you say
Doesn't
over?
matter.
Do you have the
Taking
overs?
the Rams.
I took the under.
Rams and under.
Rams
you have
under?
Rams and
Taking the Rams in the over.
over.
Yep.
Pounding overs this week.
Pounding
They
the
came
over.
pounding over.
Pounding the over.
They came bounding over.
Yeah. Seconded. Rams in the over. And Bruce is picking the Rams, by the way. So all four of us are on the Rams, which means bet the Seahawks. Rams in the over. I think when the Rams do win games, they win them because they score a lot of points. They don't eke them out. I think they have over 22 points in every one of their wins. I think Stafford is so much safer to cook with both of these receivers back. So give me Stafford, whatever his yards over is, take it, hammer it. It's probably in the two. My guess is it's in the 240s, 250s.
Are you taking the Stafford over?
Stafford yards over.
Yep, same.
And I think he gets Puka Nacua his anytime touchdown first of the year, because I don't think Puka got one last week, right?
He did.
Cooper Kupp did with less catches, but
Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua. Yeah, Nakua's for last week was 7 for 106 and no tutty. Bruce!
He already said mine. We're all taking the Rams.
That's, wow.
So if you're a Seahawks fan, you're welcome.
Yeah. All right, Sunday Night Football. Live from Minnesota, the Colts and Joseph Flacco. A one Joseph Flacco are heading to Minneapolis to play the Vikings. Anthony Richardson will now be the backup quarterback for the rest of the season, according to Shane Steichen. After not only him having the worst statistical year of any starting quarterback in the league, but also deciding when he's going to take third and goals on and off and tapping out of the game like he did last week. That did indeed lead to him getting benched.
Can we have this conversation really quickly? The
Of course
Anthony
we
Richardson
can. Yes, we can.
conversation. So if this was a month ago, I was with you guys on the Flacco, it's because this doesn't just reading into Anthony Richardson, the main knock on him was that he was extremely raw. He had spent 1 year as a starter at Florida since he got drafted, and you were drafting him to develop his talent, and the best way to develop that talent is to give him reps. Hasn't looked good, right? Of course, there's an issue here where they're somehow in the playoff race, okay? But we're doing this thing now with these quarterbacks, and I have a list that someone tweeted earlier today. Anthony Richardson is 22. He got benched. Bryce Young is 23. He got benched. Trey Lance is 24. He's benched. Justin Fields is 25. Has been benched twice at this rate. Will Levis, 25, benched. Zach Wilson, 25, benched. Mac Jones, 26, benched. Kenny Pickett, 26, benched. At some point, we need to acknowledge that there's a major issue with talent development in the league, and mainly at the quarterback position. They're throwing these guys to the wolves way too early, and they're not doing well. That's why things have worked well for Jordan Love. That's why Jared Goff almost failed for the Rams, as he didn't get developed properly. You're seeing it with a lot of quarterbacks here and there. Will Levis, we just talked about him. And I think that's applicable to Richardson. Geno Smith wasn't developed properly. Sam Darnold was not developed properly. I think we're seeing that right now. And yeah, you're in it if you're the Colts.
The whole thing with the Colts and their decision to do this, I think they fucked up from the get-go.
How?
Flacco should have been the starter to start the year, not Anthony Richardson. This guy needs to sit behind him and watch him. Then go from there.
Even if you're right, and you probably are right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Even if you're right, why draft Anthony Richardson if you didn't have a proper contingency for him?
I mean, here, look what Washington's done. They had a guy that they thought was ready, stepped in from day one. Okay, they even got rid of the fucking guy they drafted a year and a half prior just to get this guy, to get him and to get him his reps. You're looking at a different animal. You're looking at a guy who played at a really high level in college, where Richardson did not.
Yeah.
I don't think he played at a high level in college.
So I think you're just proving my argument is with Jaden Daniels, right? He always
Correct.
played at a high level at 2 different schools. He was ready
Caleb
to go.
Williams played at a high level.
And same with Caleb Williams at 2 different schools. And you could throw those
He's been
guys to the
successful.
Wolves.
He won his first 4 games.
They didn't draft. They knew what they were drafting with Anthony Richardson. They knew that he needed reps to do that. And you have to give him the reps at some
To a
point.
sense, you got to get them reps. Have to be in the off-season programs and in practice. Listen, if you're going to be honest with it, I think he would learn more sitting behind and watching Joe Flacco than him actually playing. I really do.
Can I give some input here?
No.
Go ahead.
Okay.
The reason why Anthony Richardson got benched and he came out and then said, "Oh, it's for the season," is because you're the starting quarterback of an NFL team, and on a 3rd and goal in a winnable game, you tap out of the game. And your explanation for it is that you're tired. There's no way that some of the old school guys in that locker room didn't have a fucking problem with that.
Agreed.
Possible.
And that's
Very possible.
To me, it's that decision, the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Yes, he has not been playing well. Yes, Flacco is probably putting them in a better position to win games at the moment. Yes, he is underdeveloped. But the straw that broke the camel's back was that. Can you remember of another quarterback tapping out of a game on a 3rd down and scoring position?
No.
Tapping out of the game
can't.
because he was tired.
I can't.
You can't think of it. You can't think of
Hold
it.
I'll think
You have 40.
In the meantime, can I run you by a quote, though, while you're thinking about it?
The corpse of Aaron Rodgers isn't tapping out.
There's a counter to that coin, though, and he's going against Brian Flores this week. Did you see Flores' quote by any chance? Flores came out and he said, I know there's been a lot of talk about the play where he came out, but did you watch the play? I mean, the guy throws a 300-pounder off him, runs around. I thought it was an incredible play. I mean, I got tired watching him. And, of course, I agree. That's not a good look in the locker room. But that's being a young quarterback. Like, these guys make mistakes. That it happens.
part of learning how to play the
And maybe, but like this is worse for his taking him out after this. And by the way, Steichen came out and said, no, that's not specifically the reason why. We just think Joe Flacco gives us the best chance to win. They're whoring for wins, which is fine. They're in the playoff hunt. Like
Right.
they could win their division, and this is the same position they were in last year. I think at some point for all of these teams, though, the future, like Anthony Richardson, the difference between him and Bryce Young and Caleb Williams and all these people is the difference between him and them is was raw. You were drafting someone that was raw,
Bryce Young won a fucking Heisman.
not raw, not raw.
Not raw.
Played in big
No.
games,
Played
in big
games
schools.
and delivered.
Anthony Richardson, raw. Like it was like you were drafting him for his insane arm talent and his legs, and you need to find a way to harness that. And I think ultimately this boggling of the
He reminds me
situation.
of Cam Newton more than anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, but that's not a bad knock. Like he could figure it out.
I mean, Cam Newton was a freak.
Yeah,
Jim Irsay is not going to sit there and
agreed.
have his quarterback tap out of games.
I think bungling this decision,
Jim
though.
Irsay, he tapped out before the game even started. He doesn't even fucking remember the game.
Real quick, I think bungling this decision could ultimately cost Steichen his job. If they go pivot to Flacco and they still don't make the
Well,
playoffs,
I think they
just
win
like
this
last
game.
year.
I think they win this game coming up.
Do you have the over or the
Taking them
under?
right now.
Over,
Taking
under.
the over, and I'm taking the Colts. How do you like that one?
I can see it. I could
Is
totally.
there any passing props for Joe Flacco yet?
I don't.
His over under is 700 yards,
I'm
699 and a half. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
I'm going to take the under on that.
Are you guys ready?
Sure.
I'm going to take Indianapolis to cover the 5.5 and win.
I already just did.
I know, and I'm going to agree with you.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with this insanity. Minnesota.
I see Minnesota
Over-under.
losing their third
Over-under.
straight game.
I do too. I'm going to take the under reluctant.
Taking the
No, you know what? I'm taking the fucking over. I'm taking the over. I'm sick of taking unders. Give me the over. Close game though. Very close game.
I will bite. I will go Vikings in the under. I still think the Vikings are a good team, especially when they're healthy. They played a good team, healthy team last week in the Rams, and they barely lost. They played the Lions close. There's a skill issue here between the Vikings and the Colts. And the Colts didn't manage to beat some bad teams a couple weeks ago. I mean, they choked against Jacksonville and some other games.
I think you're going to see a rejuvenated team this week.
You could be right.
Just because of the switch.
You could be
really
right.
do.
The Vikings.
Don't tell me that these guys playing
No,
right
you're right.
now
You're right.
don't know that they have a better chance of winning with Flacco than they do.
I think they might think that.
they do.
This upgrades a lot of pass catchers for the Colts as well. Like Josh Downs is probably a very reasonable play. Is Pierce back? Is Alec Pierce back or no? He's still banged up.
I believe he's still banged
Alex
up.
Pierce
I
is the
will
one who
check.
eats with Anthony Richards.
Yeah, I'm going with the
Long
Vikings.
pass.
Vikings in the under. I don't think the Colts are going to muster as many points as we think against the Vikings. Steve. The Colts need to effectively run the ball if they want to win this game.
You want to know what
agree.
Jim Irsay was doing today? He gave away 4 tickets to the Taylor Swift concert in Indianapolis on Twitter today.
Gosh
That's
darn.
what he was busy doing today.
Gosh darn.
Is that before or after that bottle of Chivas?
Alec Pierce off the injury report. He will play.
Okay.
Bruce, you're with them. Tell us why you're with the Colts.
One reason.
It's
Joe Flacco.
Flacco time, baby.
It's Flack o'clock.
It's Flacco time.
Do we want to pick Monday?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
pick it.
Let's pick it.
All right. Tampa Bay is heading to the Yellow Brick Road and Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Kansas City an 8.5-point favorite in this. Honest to God, has Kansas City won a game by 8 points yet this year? Because I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, all they do is win games by a touchdown.
8 yes, 9 no.
9 no.
Is it at Kansas City?
Kansas City at Arrowhead, 8.5-point favorite. Over/under is 45.5.
God, if this game was 2 weeks ago,
Oh my God, it would finally happen.
Tampa goes in there and wins and steals the show and puts their franchise on the
7.
map.
1, 5, 7. They beat New Orleans by more than 8 points
Without Derek Carr.
Imagine being lucky enough to play the
without Derek
Saints.
Carr. And they beat San Francisco by 10.
I'll go. Give me the Chiefs to win. Give me the Chiefs to cover. I don't like that Tampa hasn't made a move at receiver yet. I'm going to go with the over. A lot of Tampa's games have gone over in points, and I think this one goes over as well. I think they have the ability to give up a lot of yards, and it might happen in this one. So it's going to be Chiefs to win, Chiefs to over, Chiefs to win, Chiefs to cover, the over, and then I like that DeAndre Hopkins anytime. I think it hits this week.
I'm going to take Chiefs to win, Tampa to cover the 8.5, and I'm going to hit the under in this game.
I'm going to take Tampa to win. I'm taking the under. And I want a, what's that kid's name?
Which one?
The running back.
Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irvin, anytime touchdown.
Over under.
Under.
He's taking the Bucks and Buck.
The Bucks and Bucky.
Todd Bowles confirmed Tuesday that Mike Evans will remain out through the Buccaneers Week 11 bye due to a moderate hamstring injury. So no Mike Evans.
Moderate.
Does that sway you at all?
Interesting.
Does that
He's not
sway you at all?
playing?
He is not playing.
No, I'm still going to take. You know what? I want to change my prop. Cade Otton, anytime touchdown.
Cade Otton, baby. Yeah, so the receiving core for the Bucks looks like this: Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard, Trey Palmer, Raheem Jarrett,
Okay.
and then you can't forget about Cade Otton and Payne Durham.
There you go.
Payne
Durham.
Oh, Keefe is still there as well.
Cole Keith.
Keefed.
Whatever that.
K-O, not Cole, K-O.
You could say
Cole
that again.
Keith?
They're going to get knocked
Is he a
the fuck
baseball
out.
player?
Cole Keith plays for the Tigers.
Bruce.
Chiefs in the over.
Attaway. Now for the moment that we have all been waiting for.
Kansas City loses their first game to a team that doesn't have any receivers.
Wow, Kansas City really doesn't have any receivers either, so it works out good. Before we even get into this, Jordan Love said today that he believes it's realistic for him to play Sunday against the Lions with his groin injury. The word he used was realistic. I don't know how much faith that gives me that he is going to play, but the Lions are heading to Lambeau Field to play the Packers in America's Game of the Week at 4:25 on Sunday. The Lions are a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 47.5. Do we want to hear injury reports on this game before we get into this?
There was a lot of rest guys. So
There's a lot of rest guys.
yeah, and both teams sat a lot of guys today.
Yes, they did. I will just go through it briefly. So, hypothetically, if Green Bay wins this game, are they in first place?
I think they need something else to happen.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think they're
they're
game
tied
behind.
for first place.
They're a half game behind.
They're tied for first place
would
if
be
they win.
tied.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they would own the tiebreaker with the Lions. They need there's some scenario with the Falcons and some weird shit.
So,
They haven't played each other yet, though. So
Taylor Decker questionable, the
How about
chest
the Falcons
injury.
and the Packers,
no, the Packers
Lions,
and
and Packers.
Lions.
They would hold the tiebreak if they win.
Taylor Decker questionable, the chest injury. Goff questionable, like we said, with an ankle injury, but I'm not looking too much into that either. Malcolm Rodriguez doubtful with an ankle injury. And Jameson Williams obviously can't play. As far as the Packers go, Josh Jacobs questionable with an ankle injury. I think that was a rest day. Jair Alexander questionable with his knee still. Devontae Wyatt ankle, and then obviously Jordan Love. So are we going to put a contingency on this at all?
No,
No.
no. Why?
I'm just asking. If
I'm not.
Jordan Love plays, if Jordan Love
I
doesn't
don't.
play.
You know what? Listen to me. If Jordan Love's playing, they got a chance. And I mean, the Malik Willis thing is cute, but we know what that is. I'm taking the Lions in the over.
I'm going to take the Lions in the over as well. Lions are going to
Taking the
cover the
Lions in the
3.5.
over.
Lions are going to win this
They'll
game by
cover
at
it.
least a touchdown. I know the Minnesota thing, it was only a point or two, but I think the Lions are going to win this game by a touchdown.
I just don't like the way Jordan Love, this guy goes out in every game.
I know.
Every game he plays.
You want to know why? Because
He can't finish.
They're not giving him enough time to get truly healthy. And even if he does play in this game, I don't think he's truly going to be healthy. The only thing he has going for him is that the Lions pass rush isn't going to annihilate
Yeah,
him.
they're
But the
not
Lions
great.
are still going to win this game by a touchdown, and I'm going to hit the over because I think the Lions are so hot right now.
my
They're gonna
prop,
put up a shitload of points.
Khalif Raymond anytime touchdown this week.
You heard it here first. Zolo, let's hear your knowledge.
I really want to pick the Packers in this one, but I haven't seen enough from them this year to confidently pick them in this game. I'll say this much: the recipe to beat the Lions this week is there, because the Titans did a good job of painting that. They ran everything to the outside. The Lions have no one to set the edge. I would almost go as far as saying I would feel more comfortable if Malik
Jordan
Willis.
Love
Does-
played.
No, if Malik Willis plays, because he could just run to the outside and you
Yeah.
could just go, stop me.
Josh Jacobs has not practiced yet this week.
They still ran the ball. They
Yeah.
could still run the ball really well. I'll bet Jordan Love doesn't play either. He was off to the side with a stationary bike. I think realistic means
He didn't look good at the end of that game last week.
he
When
didn't.
He went
no.
down.
He tried to gut it out.
He tried to gut
Groins
it out.
aren't easy because if you're doing if you're getting chased in the pocket, which the Lions can rush for, and they might not close on you, but they can make you move around in the pocket. And he's already a very finicky passer.
I don't see what you guys are worried about.
The Packers
I'm
are good to
not
me.
worried.
I think their defense is
Listen to
good.
me.
I'm not.
Don't
fucking
you-
worried.
Don't you realize the people that the Lions have brought in?
Yeah.
Uh,
El Kosan, what's his name? Habibi Inshallah. Muhammad.
yeah,
El
Muhammad
Kosan
and-
Muhammad.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. No, I'll
from the Bad
take the
Boys from
Lions.
1988.
I'll take the Lions. I would not be shocked if they lose this game, but they tend to fare really well in Lambeau. There's less uncertainty on the Lions side of things right now than there is on the Packers side of things.
Pascal did not practice today either.
It's Pascal, who hasn't played. Malcolm Rodriguez
else
probably
is there?
won't play. Go through the rest of the list, and I can justify them. There's a lot of rest guys. Goff will be fine.
Decker.
Goff already said.
Decker's been playing bad, but he's been playing through the chest injury for a couple weeks. Pascal might not play, but they can win without
he's
him.
in and out.
Malcolm Rodriguez.
He's
He's
been
like
playing
the-
well,
he's
but
in and
but
out.
Nowoski's been outstanding. They can win without him.
Sione Vaki.
Sione Vaki will end up playing.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy concerned. I'm concerned just because it's divisional and it's the Packers. I feel good about the Lions though this week. There's a lot of good juju going. Give me the Lions to win. Give me the Lions to cover, and give me the over just because they can't stop scoring points.
Bruce.
You already know.
You already know.
D
You already know.
D-Town. And
Listen,
the
you
over.
better stop scraping your head with whatever that is.
I don't know. It feels
You
good.
You could just say goodbye to it.
88% chance of rain Sunday, by the way.
Okay. Muddy game. Love it.
Muddy game.
Love it.
Dan Campbell said it. You got to bring your spikes for this one. It's outdoors.
No, they asked him what his biggest concern was. He said shoes.
Shoes.
Bring the right shoes.
It's fair.
88% of the monty is on Detroit in this game.
That's scary. But
Scary.
But where was it with the Vikings game? They would think it was 80-some% was on the Lions.
1 or 82%.
Yeah, it was up there.
Big game for David Montgomery.
I think this is the game the Lions secondary shows up. I think they finally get their first. By secondary, I mean the corners. I think the corners get
the
their
last time they
interception.
played each other.
That's how they beat him. They came out and threw deep balls in the first half, and then they never looked back, the Packers.
Yep.
It was a great game plan. Great game plan. So this is one of the games that you revamped your defense for, that you got the guys in the secondary for. It's this game. Be interesting.
And those are the picks of Week 9.
Wait, hold on. You were over under, Uncle Sam.
I'm over.
Sam?
We're all hitting over.
We're all Lions in the over.
We're all over.
Okay.
We're all hammering that over. I'm hammering that over. Those are the picks of the week?
Can I do a quick JMO dissertation, and you guys can feel free to chime in whenever you
Please
want
do.
on it, too, by
Please
the
do.
way.
Let's hear it.
I just want to say real quick on JMO, because there are, I'm disappointed in him. Goes without saying. I'm kind of pissed. Did I mention this to you guys that I heard this a couple weeks ago? Did I tell you that
You did.
I did, and I never said anything about it. It was a rumor. Turned out to be true. There's body cam footage. And it's really tricky, and I denied it in real time just because he doesn't seem like that type of guy. But alas, a lot of you want to paint him as that type of guy just because you don't like how he talks or how he looks or whatever. To each his own. I just want to say really quick on JMO. It is not his fault that a cop let him go. It's disappointing that he didn't have a license for his gun, that he didn't have a CPL. It's disappointing if true. It sounds like there's a scenario where they do end up issuing a warrant, which is likely to happen. He pleads down to a lesser charge and he takes probation and it's a misdemeanor and nothing real comes of it. We got Rashee Rice crashing into people at 120 miles an hour. We have drunk driving all the time. We have women beating all the time. What JMO has done in that grand scheme pales in comparison to guys that have played and not been suspended. On top of that, 2 weeks ago, Josh Reynolds was shot at leaving a strip club in Denver. Former Lions wide receiver Josh Reynolds in Denver. Ricky Pearsall had a bullet go through him with an exit wound in August in San Francisco. These guys are getting shot at. I'm happy to know that my receiver's carrying. I'm happy to know that he's armed and has. I'm not even a gun holder. I've never owned a gun in my life. But I'm happy to know that he's armed. Of course, I want him to do it the right way and I want him to get it registered, but there's way worse stuff going on right now. And on top of that, I'm with Coach Campbell, who endorsed him and said, kid's going to be fine. Jared Goff said the same thing. Sam and I know people in that locker room that will be the first to tell you that JMO is one of their favorite people in the locker room because he's unapologetically him. Am I disappointed? Yeah. Don't call it a distraction just because you want it to fit your narrative. It's not. It's not a distraction. They'll be fine. He'll come back. He'll be fine. His teammates are not distracted by him, and they love him, and they would die for him. I could tell you that right now. I could tell you that with confidence, that it's not going to bother many people in the locker room, and he's going to come back and perform.
I agree.
It's disappointing. It is what it is, though. Don't read too much into it. He had a gun under his seat. He didn't brandish it in a video like Ja Morant. He didn't point it at anybody. He didn't hit a woman. He didn't do anything truly stupid. We don't know what he got suspended for. It could have been
he did
steroids.
something truly stupid.
Go ahead. What did he do?
He put a fucking loaded gun under his seat. That's stupid.
Not registered. A gun that wasn't registered too.
It doesn't matter.
That's stupid.
Listen, it's registered in his name.
It was
Not that
registered.
he doesn't have a
CPL.
he doesn't
He didn't
have a CPL,
Didn't have a CPL.
which means you can't fucking carry unless you have a holster on and you're open carrying. You can't do that.
And that's
Period.
stupid. And that is stupid. But is it
Stupid move.
is it worse than a lot of the shit that's going on these days?
Not than what Rashee Rice did, and he's still playing, and
Yep.
not
Yep.
then.
It's
not
just
worse than
you
Jordan
know what the
Addison,
big
he's
problem
still
is,
playing.
dude. Everybody's got he's gotten a bad rap. The stupid gambling thing was dumb as fuck. They
Right.
chose who they wanted to persecute and who they didn't, which was dumb. But I understand where people are getting frustrated because this guy continues to do stuff to get himself in trouble.
He's the only name in the news in a locker room where no names are ever in the news. Cam Sutton, and he got kicked to the curb, who, by the way, has been activated and is going to play this week. Cam Sutton. I agree with you on that front, and it's disappointing on that front, and it's disappointing that with the microscope on him, he hasn't learned.
20 fucking, I don't
22.
even know how old.
22.
22? He needs to grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up and stop fucking up, period. He knows he's wrong. It's not like he doesn't know. He knows. And he's putting himself, listen, when you're in a car at 4 a.m. and you're getting pulled over with a fucking loaded
Is that when it
gun under
was?
your
4 a.m?
Yes. Guess what? That's a big fuck up right there. That's a big fuck up. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm not going to make any, I don't care. Hey, the cops decide to let him go. That's on them. They're going to have to deal with that themselves. But you know what? It is what it is, dude. It happens every fucking day. But, you know, he was in a rough neighborhood at 4 a.m, dude. I get it why he had one. I don't blame him for having one. It's just a stupid move, dude. Listen, it shouldn't be under your seat, dude. You know that.
And now he knows.
You got a loaded gun in your fucking car. It better be in a trunk of your car or somewhere where you do not have direct access.
Done. Now he knows.
Because that's how you get
I agreed.
thrown in fucking jail for a stupid law like that.
I agree.
In other news,
Which I think the concealed weapons permit is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Stupid.
in other news,
Everybody should open carry.
Giselle Bundchen's jiu-jitsu
Oh,
instructor
there you go.
got her
She
pregnant.
jiu-jitsu Tom Brady. She snapped his nuts off.
And then,
Yeah, and she's pregnant. Congratulations, Giselle. It's about time you had a real man.
Zolo, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Bruce, anything to add?
Nope.
Uncle Sam, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. God bless Giselle Bundchen.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Please join us on Friday for Fantasy Frenzy, where we will answer all of your start-sit questions, all of your fantasy questions, who you should add, who you should drop, all of the above. If you are listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure to check us out on YouTube. Remember to click subscribe so you get notified when we go live. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sometime around 5. Follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. We're also live on TikTok now. That is where you can join us in the chat for Fantasy Frenzy on Friday. Be ready. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back Friday. Can't wait.